is a marvelous subject. Believe me, there is a parallel universe. One of them is the transcendental myth of Mozart, and the other one, unfortunately, is the one of history. So,
well, there you go. Well, we know we've talked so much on this program about the discrepancies and all the falsification basically of history, for the winners and those from the ruling elite side, in order to steer current events into the direction where they want to have them steer to, in order to control us, obviously much better.
Henrik, it's the dumbing down.
Yeah.
It's the dumbing. It's once again, it's the dumbing down of society.
Absolutely.
How much easier would it be to have a giggling genius who is doing everything? Yeah, It's so simple. You just portray these people as being transcendentally gifted. They don't. Mozart never studied a single day in his life composition. He was under no teacher at any time in his entire life. He didn't. His family didn't even own a piano until the year before he came to Vienna.
And how old was he then? Do you know?
When Mozart came to Vienna, he was 26 at this time.
So that doesn't fit, right? Because he was playing and writing on the piano when he was like 5 years old, right? So where did he get that from?
He was playing on the piano at 20. He learned some pieces, sure, but he didn't perform publicly. It's not as if you could go up to see him. When he came to London, his father charged 1 shilling for the short time he was here. Well, ordinary people couldn't do that. This was the middle classes. This was the higher classes who could do this. And so, yes, of course, he could perform pieces. But as it happens, his sister, Nan Earl, was recognized to be far superior. There are numerous records saying that Mozart's skill is not so special. It was easily superior. Other people were easily superior from the time, but you don't hear about those, of course.
That's interesting, and it seems to be also then it follows the trend of the male suppressing the female in this case, as it were, and they needed a man for this, not a woman. God knows.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, the piano concertos attributed to Mozart came to Mozart through Salzburg, and involved in their creation was none other than the much suppressed Nan Earl Mozart, and also the blind pianist Maria Theresia von Paradis. These were some of the greatest virtuosos of the 18th century, and they were both women. But you don't hear about that.
That's
in
very
fact, Theresia von Paradis was asked to leave Vienna because Mozart had just arrived, and she went off. She was blind. Can you imagine that? And she was blind, and yet she helped this myth get off the ground. I mean, there were ways of doing this, and she went on tour and she never returned.
And it's quite interesting as well because these names they mentioned here more recently here, Maria Teresa von Paradis and also Nan Earl Mozart. Then, do you think that these are ladies who trained a lot on the piano, and they weren't like gifted from day one in that sense, but they were actually hard working, so to speak, and really learning and progressing in life as well?
Absolutely. Nan Earl Mozart in particular was highly accomplished, a great creative thinker. But they did rather more than this. It wasn't simply those two. They had, living in Leopold Mozart's house, were various composers. This is a bit of a bombshell, but there were several composers living in Mozart's house in Salzburg during the creation stage of these concertos and various other works also. Men such as, let me mention one or two of them, because just you can check for yourself. Joseph Fiala, F-I-A-L-A. Joseph Fiala lived in the house of the Mozarts in Salzburg, a composer. Yet another person that you don't hear about. So,
is there any record of these composers like protesting or screaming at the top of their lungs it has been stolen?
They understood the game.
Okay.
That was the way that it worked.
Do you think that they were bought out? Like, yes, compose for us and we'll give you money for this?
They came from a strict religious background. Van Hal did. You know, they all did, and so they were no doubt convinced that this was in the best interest of whatever it was they were trying to achieve.
Hmm.
There were only 3 or 4 people who challenged this, and perhaps we can talk about that later. But
Absolutely, and I definitely want to get in. I have so many more questions I want to ask you here, Robert. But I think that this is a good place to take a little
yep.
break, listen to some music, and then continue here talking more in our member section. And so what we can say right now then is that we don't have a direct website that we can give out, but we definitely want to alert people that you're going to have a book out on the subject sometime after the summer. Is that correct? Do you have titles ready, anything like that people can search for?
That's correct. I'm still working on this, and but yes, towards the end of this year, perhaps August, September, I hope to finish. If others don't finish before me, so
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, very good. Well, stay with us then, Robert. We're going to continue here in our member section. Thank you very much for joining us here for the first hour. We'll take a short break, and we will be right back. We'll continue to talk more about the Illuminati, the Jesuits, Mozart's death, his potential poisoning. We'll also talk about the marriage of Figaro, the Requiem and the Magic Flute, the Freemasonic opera, and that it might represent a kind of fusion between the secret societies and their initiation. We'll also discuss the Thurn and Taxi family, the French Revolution, monarchy, and much more. But we'll begin to talk about the importance of the city of Prague. So if you enjoyed part 1 and want to continue listening, you can join us in the member section. Sign up at our website, redicecreations.com, and for about €3 a month, you'll get full access to our entire radio archive with radio, video, and webcasts. And when you sign up, you'll get instant access. Also, I want to correct one thing. The European Union anthem that they picked, Ode to Joy, that is, of course, by Beethoven and not Mozart. But in any regard, the bumper music won't be difficult to choose this time. Let's listen to some Mozart, and we'll talk more in the member section after this.